But sometimes the universe removes people because your destiny requires solitude first. Not permanent loneliness, just temporary separation from distractions. There are seasons where you must learn who you are without constantly seeking validation from others. Seasons where your spirit needs silence more than noise. Growth often begins in isolation because isolation forces you to finally hear your own soul. And maybe that is exactly where you are right now, in the uncomfortable middle, between who you used to be and who you are becoming. The painful truth is that some people cannot come with you into your next chapter because they are connected to your old identity. They knew the version of you that accepted less, the version that apologized for existing, the version that abandoned dreams out of fear. But the universe is trying to introduce you to someone new now, someone stronger, someone calmer, someone more aligned with peace. And to make space for that transformation, certain connections must fall away naturally. Not because you are unlovable, but because you are evolving. You are not losing everyone. You're losing what no longer belongs in your life. There's a difference. And one day, you will look back and realize the people who left created space for something far greater than you could imagine. Healthier love, deeper peace, genuine alignment. But right now, while the wound still feels fresh, it is hard to see the purpose behind the pain. Your heart focuses on absence. The universe focuses on redirection. There are people you begged to stay who would have eventually broken your spirit if they remained. People you cried over who were secretly blocking your growth. People whose absence felt like destruction, but was actually divine protection unfolding slowly in ways you could not understand at the time. And that is why healing requires trust. Trust that life is not removing things to punish you. Trust that every ending carries hidden wisdom. Trust that there are moments in your life when people begin to disappear without warning. Conversations fade, connections weaken, the energy changes. And no matter how hard you try to understand it, nothing feels clear. One day they're close to you, speaking to you, laughing with you, promising they will never leave. Then suddenly they feel distant, cold, unreachable. It hurts in ways you cannot explain. Not because you simply miss them, but because a part of you still wonders why it had to happen this way. You replay memories in your mind late at night. You question yourself. You wonder if you did something wrong. And deep inside, you keep hoping things will return to the way they once were. But what if they were never meant to stay forever? What if the universe saw something you could not see yet? Sometimes the most painful separations are not punishments. They are protection. The universe removes people when their presence no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. And that truth is difficult to accept when your heart is still attached to what felt familiar. Because the human heart clings to comfort, even when that comfort is slowly destroying its peace. You have probably noticed that some people only love the version of you that stayed small, the version that doubted itself, the version that tolerated disrespect just to avoid being alone. They were comfortable when you abandoned your own needs to make them happy. They liked the old you because the old you never challenged them, never outgrew them, never realized their worth. But the moment your soul began waking up, everything started shifting. Your energy changed. Your boundaries became stronger. Your silence became wiser. And suddenly, people who once felt close could no longer understand you. Not because you became cruel, not because you stopped caring, but because growth changes your frequency. And not everyone can follow you into the next chapter of your life. The universe understands something you're emoting. So if someone has recently disappeared from your life, stop asking why they left for a moment. Instead, ask yourself what their absence is teaching you. Ask yourself what parts of your soul are finally waking up because they are gone. Sometimes losing people reveals the strength you never knew existed inside you. Sometimes separation is the beginning of your deepest transformation. The universe is not trying to break you. It's trying to guide you toward a version of life where you no longer abandon yourself just to keep others close. A life where your peace matters. A life where your heart feels safe. A life where love arrives naturally instead of painfully. And although the road to that life can feel lonely at times, you are not walking it without purpose. One day, everything that confused you will make sense. The unanswered messages, the sudden distance, the painful goodbyes, the people who disappeared without explanation. You'll understand why certain doors had to close. You will see how every ending quietly redirected your path towards something more aligned with your soul. And instead of feeling bitterness, you will feel gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons. Gratitude for the growth. Gratitude that the universe loved you enough to remove what no longer belonged in your life. Until then, be patient with your healing. Be gentle with your heart. Not every loss is meant to destroy you. Some losses arrive to save you. And sometimes the universe removes people because your soul deserves a peace their presence could never provide. Peace does not arrive all at once. It comes slowly, quietly, like sunlight entering a dark room after a long storm. At first, you barely notice it. You're still thinking about the people who left, still wondering what you could have done differently, still carrying invisible conversations inside your mind. But then one morning, something changes. You wake up and realize the pain no longer controls every thought. The memories still exist, but they no longer have power over your spirit. And in that moment, you begin to understand something important. The universe was not taking love away from you. It was teaching you how to return home to yourself. For so long, you may have searched for your worth inside other people, inside their attention, their approval, their presence. You believe closeness meant safety. You believe being chosen meant being valuable. But the universe often removes people when you start depending on them to fill spaces only your soul can heal. Because no human being can complete you if you are disconnected from yourself. And sometimes separation is the only thing powerful enough to wake you up to that truth. You start noticing how much energy you spent trying to hold onto people who were slowly drifting away. How often you ignored your intuition because you feared abandonment. How many times you accepted confusion instead of clarity because you hoped things would eventually improve. But real love does not constantly leave you anxious. Real connection does not require you to shrink yourself just to maintain peace. The right people do not force you to question your worth every day. And once you finally experience emotional peace, you realize how exhausting certain relationships truly were. The universe removes people who disturb your spirit so you can finally hear your inner voice again. Because deep down, your soul has always known the truth. It knew when someone's energy changed. It knew when conversations became forced. It knew when your